Sometimes what people wish for is for their pain to be acknowledged. And I think that's what helps the healing process, is for people to feel seen and be heard, to have their loved one remembered, for people to say their name. And I always remind everybody in the group that we're going to respect everyone's experience, we're going to validate them and normalize it so that everyone feels like they belong.
A friend of mine had actually recommended the Calvary counseling program after hearing that both my mother and my father lost their lives within a 6-week period. The group that I attended through Calvary's bereavement services was specifically designed for people who had lost either a parent or both parents as a result of COVID-19.
Here at Calvary Hospital, we have 35 bereavement groups that we facilitate across our 3 sites in Brooklyn, the Bronx, and Manhattan. All of the bereavement groups are free of charge. Our groups are not only open to our Calvary families, but also to anybody in the community who has experienced the death of somebody significant in their life. We host an annual 11-week course for professionals in the field of grief and bereavement. And we also do a lot of community outreach to educate our communities on death and dying. We currently have a COVID death of a parent group and a COVID death of a spouse partner group in order to try to meet some of the need out there for all our grieving families.
Sometimes you just never know that you actually need a helping hand, that you actually need assistance, that you need the type of environment that we received at Calvary. Over the weeks, what I came to understand is that we were provided tools to best address some of the feelings that we were having. It was a place for us to talk about our feelings, about our parents, about our experiences.
They learn how to cope, and coping and emotional regulation helps them in all aspects of their lives. So the money that donors give to the bereavement program not only helps adults function as better adults, they're not just sitting with unprocessed trauma.
We cannot bring your special person back, but what we can do is validate you. What we can do is give you an outlet to speak about your emotions, to speak about other ways that grief is manifesting.
I'm in this group because sometimes being with other people that have experienced losses too can actually feel good.
Calvary's Camp Compass, which is our 5-day day camp for all of our children that have been a part of the groups throughout the year, that is also free for our families. So they're not only participating in recreational activities, but they're also participating in themed bereavement activities to help draw them out in their grief process.
Each week, as I work with the Precious Moments children from the ages of 6 to 9, they show up in that space, eager, sometimes before the allotted time, talking about the relationship they have with their significant person that has died and how they are accessing that relationship each week. I dreamt my father, I experienced him this way. So that is a joy, how they're making sense of the world and the pandemic and ultimately the grief space.
Among the things that I think I've learned as being a part of this grieving process with Calvary is that I've learned to share, and that I've also learned that grief comes in many forms, and there's only so much pressure and regret that we can have. Throughout the process of sharing and learning, I believe I've learned more patience, and that's with myself.
Our work is informed by our education and our expertise, but it's really guided by our hearts, and that really does shine through in what we offer our families.
So thank you very much for providing the service.
The YC Ho Helen and Michael Chang Foundation appreciates all the ways that the bereavement program services people who have experienced loss. We're really proud of our long-term relationship with Calvary, and we think it's important for other funders to see strong, steadfast, long-term supporters of these programs at Calvary.
We give these people hope. We give them navigational tools to get to a place where they're able to say, I can take control over my life again. I'm able to identify who I am without this person being alive.
Their life continues through you. So as you remember them, as you think about the moments that you had and the memories that you had, their life does continue.